Hello friends, this is our third lecture on the Archetypes of Literature by Northrop Frye, the Canadian critic. And yesterday we saw that the quest for a new poetics. Actually, Frye was prompted by a new quest for a new poetics. That means we have seen. So the Archetypes of Literature is the result, we can say, of Frye's quest for a new body of critical knowledge, a central hypothesis and an organizing principle. Yesterday we saw this thing. A central hypothesis and an organizing principle. Now, he says, according to Frye, criticism is a science. So that's the point. Criticism is a science. Because it has got all the paraphernalia of a science, like biological science, or you have got physics and so on. So he says the reasons why. He gives half a dozen reasons. First reason is evidence is examined scientifically. That's first point. Evidence, just like science, evidence is examined scientifically. You find why there is movements like classicism or romanticism. What are the reasons for that? Or what is the origin of drama? Miracle plays and morality plays and so on. We have seen. Then what is why a particular type of literature developed in a particular period of time? So you examine, for example, the drama, Shakespearean drama flourished in the Elizabethan age. Why? Because we know this, the reason is Renaissance. So the Renaissance is the reason, that is revival of art and literature. And second point is that previous authorities are quoted in literature. Previous authorities. You find, previous authorities, when you write an essay for your PG classes, what do? According to so and so you quote. Isn't it? You say that Hamlet was ambitious. Or you say Lady Macbeth is the most cruelest, double-negative woman in literature. Then you give examples for that. The quotations, you say. So and so says like this. Wilsonite says like this. A.C. Bradley says like this. So you have such supporting the quotations. Understand? And then a third is fields are investigated. Fields are investigated. You find, as we have seen, different fields of literature. Forms of literature here. Different fields. Novels. Why in 18th century there was a period of prose and novel? Why? Prose, reason and novel, 18th century. Then you find what was the reason for the development of romanticism? Why there is a fall in Greek poetry immediately after Chaucer? You find all these things. So fields are, or you examine the metaphysicals, the field of metaphysical, the movement of the metaphysicals. So you are investigating why, isn't it? Then editing texts, scientifically, texts are edited. Texts are edited scientifically. It's not this all. How many years did it take for Dr. Johnson to edit Shakespeare's plays? Meticulously reading everything. He wrote a preface, plus at that time when we were discussing Dr. Johnson, I told you about the notes. The notes are more precious than the preface to Shakespeare. I had the rare, I would say that I took actually the pains to go through the entire notes, and I have quoted many observations of Dr. Johnson in my series of lectures on Dr. Johnson on Shakespeare. So that is what we said, editing of the text. How, with what great pains probably he might have taken to do this. And he promised to begin, he promised that it will, the Shakespeare's plays edition, etc. will be published at a particular cut-off date, but he could not do that. So 3 times he postponed. Understand? And there was a criticism against Dr. Johnson that he carried all the money away and did not give the text. See that? So that much time it takes. Listen. And another thing you can see, you remember T.S. Eliot when we were studying, it was about 1,000 lines. And those 1,000 lines were edited by Ezra Pound to reduce it to 434 lines. So editing that way also, there's another way of editing. Editing before publication, editing for after publication. After publication comes only 16th century and so on, because at that time editing, it was not developed or scientific, it was not as scientific as we think of editing now. And 5th point is prosody. The prosody is scientific, no? Prosody. For example, rhythm. We speak about iambic, we speak about trochee, anapest and so on. We say about the rhythm and then measure and so on. We say, for example, we say that iambic is short, long, like that. Ta-ta, like that. The leaping. It's a iambic is a leaping rhyme, or you can say leaping rhythm. Understand? But on the other hand, trochee is taka-taka. So this is scientific, just like music. Music is scientific, you agree, no? Isn't it? And you say, you have seen, say, Naushad Saab, Kalyanji Anandji, then you have got Shankar Jayakishan, so these are, or you have got Rahman. So those people, how scientific they are. Otherwise, what will happen? Nothing will come out, that's all. What will happen there? Nothing will happen. So that is the thing. Isn't it? Mera Jeevan Kora Kagas. That beautiful song, sung by Kishore Kumar. You just listen to that, then you will see how scientifically the whole thing has been made. This is not only about Mera Jeevan Kora Kagas, but all the songs are like it's by Kalyanji Anandji, no, that is here. So there you are. Kalyanji Anandji and all those great composers are. And then you have got R.D. Burman. Assuming these things you know, I may not tell you this, giving you examples and so on. It is scientific. So just like the prosody is also scientific in nature. And then we again take up another important area in literature and language and literature is phonetics, philology, these are scientific. So, because phonetics and philology has got they have got bearings in literature. Linguistic criticism is there. See, you count the number of, say, vowel harmony, or you speak about alliteration. These are based on sound. Listen. And certain combinations, like certain combinations of certain combinations of words for new expressions and so on. So these are we study these things, and that is scientific. So for half a dozen reasons, you can say criticism is a science. A question can be asked in the UGC, why do you say that criticism is a science? You can give these examples, and more if you want more knowledge you have. Of course, you can supplement your answer with that. All right. And then what else? What do you say? But still, what is happening today is, according to Frye, that this studying this kind of critical science, we know it is science, criticism is science, etc. We know, but even then, we are unaware of a centrifugal movement that has got into study of literacy. What is centrifugal movement? Background study. We are interested more in the background study. What about the social situation that gave rise to the Renaissance drama? What is the social situation or social and political situation of the 18th century novel? Background study we are doing, and biographical also. So this is a problem, is it? Centrifugal. Criticism is centrifugal, that means it's going away from the center. That is, away from the center. What is center? Center is literature. What are you studying? You are studying the background of it. Although we know that criticism is a science. Understand? That's the problem. So you are unaware of that. Then what happens is that you are carried away from or removed from literature as such. In another ways, you can see now this today's new criticism, modern criticism, and so on. What do they say? Close reading of the text. Indirectly, what Frye is asking us to do is make a close reading of the text. Then you will see the structure. Then you will see the meaning. That's what Frye is trying to suggest, I think, at this level. Although you cannot. Sometimes what happens, Frye might not have even thought about this close reading of the text, that we do not know. But directly or indirectly, this is what he is suggesting. That much we can understand. So background criticism and study of the social milieu and what are the things or biography, what was the mental makeup of Wordsworth when he wrote Tintin Abbey. This is not the important thing. That's not at all important. If you are concerned about the text and its meaning, this is not important. But what was his mental condition when he was writing the Leash Gatherer or something like that, or is he the daffodils? That is not the point. That is a kind of centrifugal criticism. That is, it's not to be encouraged. See, it's difficult. See, central division of humanities. That is, literature is the central division of humanities. That you have to accept. But the problem is, it is flanked by, on one side it is flanked by history, and on the other side it is by philosophy. So you have to go after history for events. You have to go after philosophy for ideas. And criticism is concerned as a subdivision of literature. This is not accepted. Understand? So the criticism is, you have to say, it is a science. It is an independent science. It's not any subdivision of literature. It is above literature. That we can say. Most of the central area of criticism is the area of commentary. That's another problem. See, one is the centrifugal problems that we face. Second is, most of this is what we say commentary. And what is commentary approach? It is not at all a scientific discipline. It is full of pseudo proposition. It is high sounding nonsense. No truth, no falsehood. So this is the second objection. First is, criticism is centrifugal. Secondly, most of the criticism that we see is at commentaries, and commentaries are pseudo remarks. Now it is not a scientific discipline at all. It exists because, that is, why do you accept this commentary as criticism? It exists because criticism, like nature, prefers a waste space than an empty space. Nature doesn't accept vacuum. Nature does not allow vacuum. When Shakespeare died, people thought, oh, drama has come to an end. No, you have got greater dramatists later. It's a Bernard Shaw. Not you would compare Bernard Shaw to Shakespeare, but some people say he is as great as Shakespeare or greater than Shakespeare. So what we are saying, we are trying to tell you is this: nature doesn't allow vacuum. So if somebody some VIP or some very important person or Homer or so on, then there will be another Homer. That is nature. Like that, criticism accepts commentary as criticism because criticism doesn't allow a waste space. If there is no commentary in those days, not now. When criticism was once upon a time confined to commentaries, it accepted this because it was better than a waste space. I think you are clear now. I have made this idea clear to you. So empty one, otherwise there will be empty space. Instead they said, okay, fill it with this kind of, what is waste space, let us fill it with the empty space, let us fill it with this waste effort. That is the thing. A waste space, that is commentary, which is not at all scientific. Understand? I think that is now clear to you what I said, what I was trying to tell you. So then he said that there is what is called, criticism, it exists between, because it exists, we have already seen why waste space is allowed, why commentaries is allowed. It muddles the study of literature. It muddles the study of literature. Muddles means it confuses, makes a mess of this. And he uses a term from psychology, schizophrenia. Schizophrenic dichotomy. Dichotomy means schizophrenic means a mentally sick person who sees illusions. Normally it was once upon a time a horrible disease with no remedy. Now of course you have got, if anybody is suffering from schizophrenia, you go to a psychiatrist and he will give you, now you have got wonderful medicines for that. Like what medicine, I don't want to tell you that because some people sometimes will misunderstand me. So mentally sick person who sees delusions and so on, that is schizophrenia. So schizophrenic dichotomy. Dichotomy means opposites. In commentaries. When criticism was confined to commentary, there was a dichotomy. Dichotomy means what? That is oppositions, opposing things like, say for example, day and night, they are dichotomies. So there is opposing, totally opposing. Simple example for that. I said between subjective and objective criticism. That is the definition. Subjective as opposed to objective criticism. Or emotional as opposed to descriptive criticism. So that is the only two kinds of criticism, two types of criticism we had when criticism was understood as commentary. One is emotional, the other is descriptive. One is subjective, the other is objective. What is subjective mean? Your personal opinion. What is objective means? Nothing to do with the personal, but the matter as such you present. Understand? For example, if I have got a subjective opinion about this pen, I will say, oh, this is a beautiful pen. This blue here, white here. Oh, I love this. This is a very nice pen. I am saying like that. If it is objective way, if I am presenting this, this is a pen I used for writing on the white. This is a marker used for writing on the whiteboard. That's all. There's no emotion there. But this one is, without this pen I cannot live. Oh, this pen is my everything. If no pen, I will die. If no pen, I don't exist. This kind of thing is a subjective and emotional criticism means. Understand? Just an example for this. Objective means, I already told you, this is a marker used for writing. Its main purpose is writing, to write on the whiteboard. So that is objective description. So there is, he says, there was, when criticism was considered as, or criticism at the, remained at the level of commentaries, there was a mentally sick person's division, opposing divisions, it says, like subjective and objective. Sometimes when you write exam answers in the examination, you will write like that. Oh, Shakespeare's sonnets are very beautiful. What is They are beautiful, that's all right. But a statement like that would be a subjective and emotional statement. But if descriptive means, if you give a meaning of that, what is the meaning of this? Love is not love that are alters when alteration finds. See that, suppose there is two lines like this. Love is not love that alters when alteration finds. There's a very beautiful line again. A subjective will be, you speak about love, I am seeing my love, I know my love is like a red rose, my love is a wonderful lady, and he says she will always be faithful, and she is like that, and I go on describing. But if it is an objective one, the meaning of those two lines will be, so it's a philosophical principle. It's a definition of love. There's nothing to do with the lady and the lady love and my love and your love and all those. So it is a philosophical principle that anything, if something is not constant and that thing is a lie, you can say. Because love is not love that alters when alteration finds. That is the meaning. So that means real love should be constant. That's all. Real love should be real love should be unalterable, even though there are some difficulties. That's the objective way of saying. A subjective and emotional, you can say love is personifying love, love is personified as a etc. You can say. So this division, that kind of criticism, he says, is what criticism is, that commentary, and that is not at all subjective. So what Frye is trying to tell us is, why is he in search of a new poetics? Why is he in search of a new method of criticism? Why is he in search of an organizing principle? Understand? This is what he is trying to tell you. One reason is, first one, we have seen criticism as a science. Therefore, we say criticism has no scope as far as commentary is concerned. It is not at all criticism. And then we saw criticism is centrifugal. See? So you have to bring it, you have to make it centripetal. Centripetal means you should have an organizing principle. And this is what he says. And then he says, this commentary should not be allowed, and we saw that is objective criticism and subjective criticism. And what should we do? How to come out of this? Step one, he says, you recognize and get rid of meaningless criticism. Yeah, because what we have in centrifugal criticism is meaningless. Commentaries are meaningless. So get rid of that. See? Talking about literature in a way that cannot help to build a systematic structure of knowledge should not be done. If you are talking about literature, it should end up in a systematic body of knowledge. Otherwise, don't attempt to do such a thing. Understand? Secondly, he says, causal value judgments do not in any way help. Criticism, it is only a kind of history of taste. Causal value, cause, no. Causal value, cause. What is the cause? For example, we say, what are the causes of Macbeth's vaulting ambition? What are the causes? That won't be criticism. Criticism would be the piece as such you have to get into the text and try to find out the meaning. So that is causal value criticism. It's a kind of, it can only add to history of taste. You understand? Yes. All judgments should be based on experience of literature. That's the thing. So that is close reading of literature that we can understand. And then again he says that there shouldn't be no sentimental, religious, political or prejudicial remarks. There should be no political, you should not be influenced by political forces, not be sentimental. These are some things that you know already. Don't be prejudicial. He said, he has written it. It is like saying, this is taking things for granted. You have got, Chitchat is dead. Chitchat has been killed. Then it should be done by Bhima. This is not criticism. This is prejudicial. You have got a prejudice towards Chitchat and maybe also Beam. So you are making such a statement. That is not at all. That is not criticism, he says. So criticism should recognize and get rid of meaningless remarks. This kind of meaningless remark should not be based on, the word used is visceral reaction of the writer's personality. Visceral reaction. That means don't make a postmortem of the author. Understand? Postmortem means author based should not be. Then that becomes what that is just like if this might have been his intention. There we have got intentional fallacy. Later on we come across that intentional fallacy. See, so what would have been, or what could have been, or this would have been, could have been about the author's intention and so on. That also is not. It is pseudo criticism. And then it says, literary chit-chat. Literary chit-chat is also pseudo. You remember, in the 18th century coffee houses, they used to sit around and literary chit-chat. That also is pseudo criticism. And you can see certain critics, and for some unknown reason, Frye is prejudiced. He has got some prejudice against Eliot. And he says, T.S. Eliot, he says, these are the ways. He dumped Milton. Then the word used is, Dunn's stocks became bullish. Stock markets, you have seen bullish and bearish. When the stock market is going up, you will say bullish. When the stock market is coming down, it is bearish. You can see the picture of a bear. Other one is bullish, getting ready, going forward. So he says, Dunn's stocks are bullish in the hands of T.S. Eliot. You remember, no? He dumped Milton. Milton, who will read Milton? There is a statement like that. And then he says, there was some special quality, some synthesizing quality in metaphysical poets. He praises the metaphysical poets. But he says association of sensibility. Other places he says, romantics for example, dissociation of sensibility. Opposite of that you find in Donne. And then Shelly, he says, his stocks are bearish. But his stocks are bearish means he did not support, or he was not in, he did not praise, or he did not give due recognition to Shelly. Milton he dumped. Donne's bullish and Shelly bearish. And then what happened to the other writers? Say for example, the writers like Tennyson says when it came to that, there was a slight flutter. Means he did not make any negative statements. So this is kind of literary chit-chat. This cannot be accepted as criticism. Why? Because it does not build a body. It does not build a body, a systematic body of knowledge. He is like that. Donne and metaphysicals are like this. Shakespeare was like that. Or then he said, there is no objectivity in Hamlet. In Hamlet and his problems. This is not criticism, he says. This is because it is not systematic. It does not build a systematic body of knowledge, an organized body of knowledge. And therefore, we cannot accept these things. These are only at the level of literary chit-chat. So that is not science. So what he has to do? What have you to do? So he says it should be, literary criticism should be centripetal. And then what is centripetal means? Centripetal means you should analyze structural, it should be structural and rhetorical. Rhetorical and structural analysis you should make of a text. Then what will happen is you can create a systematic body of knowledge which we call, or which Frye calls, criticism. Understand? Then there are problems are there that we will see, I think, that in the next class. This is enough for you for today. Food for thought for you today. This is enough, I think. So we started like this. Said criticism is a science. We have given half a dozen reasons for that. Then is what is the problem in this field? When it is centrifugal, that means background criticism. Okay. Second is a schizophrenic division, dichotomy of subjective, objective. Subjective is emotional, objective is merely descriptive. So that is not accepted. Third is literary commentaries. Commentary is not scientific at all. Because it is not a scientific discipline. It is neither falsehood nor truth, you find that. That's the third point. And a fourth point is that we should recognize that, we should recognize and get rid of meaningless critics. What are these meaningless critics we have seen? That is unnecessary causal value you are thinking about, talking about literature without building a systematic knowledge, judgments based on, is not based on experience. They shouldn't be sentimental and religious and political and prejudicial. It shouldn't be chit-chat, means literary chit-chat like that of T.S. Eliot. Should not be based on the would have been, could have been of the author. So these are the things, and so it should be centripetal. I think you have been following not my Frye's argument as I presented it before you, as I understood it. See, you may understand it differently, but I cannot help it. See that? I cannot help it means, as far as possible, I have remained faithful to the text, and this is what I understand. Those of you who are listening to me, you are all great students and great teachers and great people who are interested in literature. So you can have your opinion, and at the same day you can share all those things with me also and correct me. I am always open to criticism and correction. Thank you very much for listening, and we will see again with another dose of Frye. Frye means Northrop Frye. Means Frye, don't misunderstand me, because they are homophones, no? Fish fry and Northrop Frye. And Frye, they are homophones, so there will be a possibility that we will see you. I will see you with another dose of Frye. If somebody is only somebody has come very late in the class and this, and then the concluding remarks of my lecture is we will see with another dose of Frye. He or she may misunderstand that in the canteen there will be another plate of fish fry or something like that. Isn't it? Yeah, there's a possibility. That's okay. So I hope that you won't make a mistake like that. And I am, as I told you, open to criticism. Bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy your day.